people go in and say, well, I didn't know that was against the law. Yeah, you did. And the judge is not going to buy that one. He also said that if you have to get into college, you have to get into college first before you can get into law school. There are a number of law schools that are difficult to get into. All law schools do not have the same tier. The number of points now, and he talked about when you go to take the state bar, doesn't matter how high you score, it's not a point. It's either pass or fail. So it's not based on a point, it's just a pass and fail. Internships with a good law firm will make a difference in regards to how much money you make once you graduate.
Yes, sir.
An attorney's job is to know the factors in the case and guide their clients into the right direction.
So we got a little bit of time left. We're going to roll out. Oh, you want to go in? Okay, so we're going to the blueprint for going to college.
Let's go into the blueprint for going to college.
Yep.
The key. My junior year is the year I should be deciding what college I want to apply to. Your junior year. You need to go and research and decide what college you want to go to. I was just talking to someone that's in college now. They're going into their sophomore year. And they said most college students don't decide what their major is until their last 2 years of college. Okay, so it's not that you need to know exactly what you want to major in. It's just that you do need to know what college you want to apply to. And I know when Mr. Anderson was in here talking to us, he said get a list of 7 colleges. He said the top 2 that you know it might be difficult to get into, but you still need to have those 2 colleges. He said then the next 5, I believe, or the next 4, he said, are the ones that you know you can get into. And then the bottom 2 should be, well, the middle ones you think you can get into. The last 2 are the ones you know that you can get into. But you need to make that list, know which colleges you want to apply to in your junior year. Research schools online, read and digest material about the schools. Make a list of 5 to 7 schools you are interested in. That's what I just said. And here it is. Identify 2 schools as reach schools. So if you want to go to Harvard or Oxford, or those are your 2 top schools. Those are your reach schools, okay? And then identify 2 schools that you have a better than a 50% chance to get into. And then identify 2 schools that you have better than a 70% chance to get into. Hit the ground running in the fall. Be ready to apply to the colleges of your choice, because by December, you want to have the acceptance letter on your Christmas tree.
That's good.
And what's the key? Remember, he said he had students that had a 2.3 GPA, right? They had an ACT of 16. He said 15 to 17. And they were still accepted into 7 different colleges with grants and scholarships. And they were accepted based on their essay. So your writing skills are very, very important. All right? He says that's what they're going to see. They're not going to actually see you. You're going to send in your resume with your application, or your essay with your application. That's how they're going to see you. It's from what you write about you. And also, he said community service hours. Now, I know the high schools are requiring, what are they requiring, 90 hours? 40 hours of community service work. What did he recommend? I think he recommended 60 to 90 hours of community service hours. Okay? All right?
Okay.
All righty.
So one thing as we get ready to wrap up that we have to understand is that Sergeant Chappelle, and even when we go back and recap, many of us are hearing the words online. Do some research online. What tells me is this, that Facebook is okay. But how much time do I invest in that in comparison to researching for my future? How many of you are juniors, getting ready to be a junior? Oh, okay. So it's time to hit the ground running. You have a blueprint in front of you. You have a blueprint. It's very important that you don't take this lightly, that you've been basically handed your destiny and purpose. Here you go on a sheet of paper, which is powerful. So now I have to fix my mind and say, all right, who am I? What do I desire to do? Where do I desire to go? If I want to go to the military route, I have a resource. If I want to law enforcement, I have a resource. If I want to be an attorney, I have another resource. If I want to go to college, I have a resource. So that's the thing that you have to understand. And parents, there is a sheet on here that the challenge that, I don't think it's on this one, but the challenge is see if our children can fill in the blank. I think it's the last sheet. It says fill in the blank. Let's quiz our young people and see if they retain 20% or 80% of what was given to them. Because if somebody gets given something to me as a gift, I have to be faithful over that gift and steward it correctly. And it's going to come with persistence and study.
So, okay.
We'll get you one.
So we have another career option, the military. And he just wrapped it all up where we can go to college. They'll pay for us to go to college. They'll pay for our housing. They'll pay for our food, our clothing. And plus give us $1,300 in spending money to start out with. That's a great option. And then we can retire in a minimum of 20 years. So if I go in when I'm 18 or when I'm 20, I can come out when I'm 40 with a college degree, with experience, with a retirement, and I'm 40 years old. So I have what, 20 more years, because what's the retirement age out in the civilian world? I think it's 60 or 65, so I have 25 more years, but I've got a pension coming in.